And now, your host, Couch Tomato!
Hey, I'm Couch Tomato and I'm joined by...
Oh.
Welcome to Stuff for Movie Buffs. And today we're talking...
Annabelle creation.
Before we get into any of that, guys, I want everybody out there, put their right hand on their heart, left hand in the air, repeat after me, guys. Say I.
I.
Say your name.
Hulk.
Am a movie fan.
Am a movie fan.
As a movie fan.
As a movie fan.
I won't get mad.
I won't get mad.
I can't get mad.
I can't get mad.
And I'll keep my anger to myself.
And I will keep my anger to myself.
All right, perfect. If this is your first time listening to the show, we start off every show like that because I'm a movie geek. Hulk, our co-host, he's a movie geek as well. And sometimes, admittedly, we take movies a little too serious. So by saying the creed, Hulk and I promise that to give you guys the side eye, no matter how absurd your opinions are about the movie that we're talking about today. Also, guys, make sure to subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, or wherever you go for your podcast. So this week, Hulk, you actually got a chance to see one of your most anticipated movies of the year.
I wouldn't say that,
I believe.
But...
All right, just making sure. Hulk saw the movie this week. I actually stayed away. I'll say my 2 cents later about how I feel about the horror genre, and that'll allow me to be transparent. But to the folks out there who have never heard of a Annabelle, because this is a sequel, and who've never seen a trailer for Annabelle Creations, Hulk's gonna do you guys a huge favor and read you guys a summary. That cool, Hulk?
Yes, it's cool.
All right, ready when you are.
That's my secret, Captain. I'm always angry.
Former toy maker Sam Mullins and his wife Esther are happy to welcome a nun and 6 orphan girls into their California farmhouse. Years later, the couple lost their 7-year-old daughter, Annabelle, in a tragic car accident. Terror soon strikes when one of the girls seemingly finds an innocent doll that seems to have a demon life inside of its own. Annabelle creation.
All right, perfect. So I've never seen a trailer for this movie. I just know I won't be interested. Main reason being is because I am not a fan of the horror genre. So in the past on this podcast, we've talked about the state of the horror genre and allow us to enlighten you guys. And these are just our personal feelings. But Hulk, when it comes to the horror genre, any pros or cons for those, movie types?
I think I was in like the same boat as you, like recently, because for the most part, I think growing up horror like was much better. I think back in like the early 90s, late 80s, but then like growing up, I just think it just started to just go down a weird path. Same thing with comedy. I think horror and comedy went down.
You stealing my notes, man. Stealing my notes.
So it's just like I kind of, it's like it's always on the bottom of my list as far as like movie genres that I love. But lately, with some of the franchises that they've been able to put forth, like it's starting to creep up just a little bit, like on my list, where it's just like, okay, I can actually tolerate it. Like I actually look forward to some of the movies that are coming out. So it's starting to get better, in my opinion.
In the 80s, I think the only genre that's kind of been consistent with making money at the box office, sci-fi's never always been number one because they have their ups and downs as well.
Yeah.
But that genre always is like top 3 genre, yeah. Right? So with horror used to be king in the 80s. Like box office wise, it's hard for me to picture like movies doing, and you got to adjust for inflation and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the money that they used to make in the 80s, it was just crazy. Even comedy too. So I grew up loving both horror and comedy. And now, even when I look back at some of the movies, like some of them were bad, I understand. But at the time they were revolutionary. But even now it's just sad because horror is on the up and up. So I'll give them that. But comedy's on the bottom. So I would say, like, if you talked to me last year, I hated the horror genre, but I think Blumhouse Films is almost single-handedly been saving them over the last decade or so. So it wasn't an overnight success because when you look at their catalog, they've been having like hit after hit.
And it's funny you bring up the box office because Annabelle Creation is on pace to do 38 to 40 million, and like the director is ecstatic, like he's excited. The studio's happy. That is great. But
that's great.
But it's like you said, it's not like the massive numbers of like a comic book movie or like a sci-fi, or you know what I'm saying? Like just to show you like how far they've gone down.
And to their credit though, like, those movies that you just explained, like they spent $250 million,
That is true.
and they have like $70 million opening weekends. With this one, they probably spent $4 million, because the first one seemed like they only had three settings. They had the
apartment,
the house, the apartment, and the hospital in the back of a car.
It's like I'm sure they did that on the W, or was it New Line, whichever studio did it. Like I'm sure they just did that on that. You didn't have to go far. Yeah.
Yes, I mean, credit to them, and that's why I said, okay, you know what, these guys are horror is actually, I see some light at the end of the tunnel. So, but it's still not enough to get me to watch these movies in theaters. I'll probably catch these things on Blu-ray when they come out. So let's talk about 2017 in general. Like when it comes to horror movies, was there anything that captured your attention for this year so far?
I have my list in a way.
So what you mean 3 circled on your list? You could include movies that already hit theaters or anticipated films as well. So
it's like
I only have one, but
for me, I have with 2017. Like I loved Get Out. Like I thought that was
most profitable movie of the year, I think.
Props to Peele and
that's it.
You know that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like you want to say Key and Peele.
Yeah,
but go ahead.
But yeah, like that was one of my favorite movies. But lately there's been a few trailers that have caught my eye. Like I saw the trailer for It, which
it's gonna be whack.
It came out and it's coming out in September. I would agree that the old, like the remake, as far as like the clown, is not as scary as
it can't be scary anymore.
It's like
the first one, Pennywise, was just I hated that movie. I love that movie because I hated it so much. But I do think it deserves a reboot, because the first one was a miniseries, so you can't even count it as a reboot basically, because it's almost like a TV show. But yeah, some things you should just leave alone, or if you're gonna do it right. I think that movie's gonna be filled with jump scares. And that type of stuff wasn't scary in the first one. The first one was actually pretty scary.
Yeah.
It's like facing your fears, and your fears just happen to be a clown, or it could be a wolf. Shout out to Spaghetti Eddie. Shower scenes scare him. So yeah, like that first movie was terrifying. But you got one more on your list. You said Get Out. You're looking forward to It. What else?
Snowman with Michael Fassbender. Like that trailer was just amazing. Basically, he's like a serial killer, and it's supposed to be like this psychological type thing, like where it messes with your head, like if he's just crazy, or he really does have everything planned out, or if he has like multiple personalities. But basically, like he's like a cop investigating his own crimes. Like the trailer.
Oh man, that's gonna Hollywood catches some type of fever every year. And I guess it's the split personality fever carrying over from last year.
I'm not,
because didn't they just come?
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, this sounds a lot like Split or Identity. But
yeah, it's just the vibe I got for that. I don't know if that's actually the plot, because it's just like he's so convincing, like as a person, like where he's really actually trying to find this killer. And the way they cut the trailer it's like it's almost like he really is investigating some separate entity, but then you have shots of him actually being the killer. And
just to make sure, you said you're looking forward to this mainly because Michael Fassbender, the trailer was awesome.
Yeah.
I'm only saying this as a friend.
Go ahead.
You fall for this a lot, and I've warned you all the time. I haven't seen the trailer, so send it to me if I need to see it. But you bought this up.
But Fassbender's the beast. He's a beast, though. Like he's...
No, I know, but you bought this up when I was telling you Assassin's Creed is gonna suck, and I was like, hey, don't get it twisted. I'm gonna name some of these movies, and this guy, he's not allergic to bad films. Prometheus, Assassin's Creed. Even though I didn't hate Prometheus as much as other people, but Prometheus, Assassin's Creed, X-Men Apocalypse, Alien Covenant, the movie you just named.
Okay.
It's like people act like he like the god or something, like he could do no wrong, but I'm telling you, Michael Fassbender is known to take a check or two.
Even in those movies, he still produces a performance where just like, this guy's just a great.
But are the movies good? I didn't even know he was in Jonah Hex.
I'm sure it's a small role.
It's a small budget. I mean, that movie only had a small box office output, so Makes perfect sense. But I'm just saying, like, I'm not falling for that anymore. Like, Hollywood's got it out for that guy, and they're ruining his career. Like, they put him in a lot of trash movies. So, you told us your 3. Let us know in the comment section, guys, if you agree or disagree with Hulk. But now to the movie that, we're talking about this week. So before we talk about Annabelle Creation, you saw, the prequel that led up to this, right?
Yeah.
Not prequel, but
the
first installment.
Yeah, first installment technically. Yeah.
Yeah. So thoughts on the first Annabelle?
Terrible. That movie.
Really?
Well,
so what? I mean, why are you so anxious to see Annabelle Creation if you didn't like Annabelle?
Because it's still the Conjuring universe, and I love those films so much. And then I saw some of the early reviews with this one, like I think last week was at like 86%, even though all the critics didn't come in. But I thought, like, okay, for it to be at 80%, and then I thought that was a step forward. So I was just like, okay, I think it would be worth a watch. So.
You know what? I didn't really get into those films that much. I saw Conjuring. I can't tell you what happened. Like, I just don't remember. So I didn't know it actually existed in the same universe. Annabelle was just one of those movies that I felt like it was nothing special about the film. Like, I could understand why some people like it, but I would actually, I also understand why a lot of people just don't care about it. It's not one of those, it's not bad.
No, it's bad. It's not, like, it's just a waste of time. Like you.
That's what I'm saying. Like, to me, I don't call that bad. I call that bland. It's like vanilla ice cream. Like, and ironically, vanilla ice cream is like my favorite ice cream, but it's just plain as hell. So nothing was special about the movie. It's almost everything you love about the 90s horror films, except it's just way more bland. Like, it copied every storyline from 90s films, and it's just it just like no, we don't want to be great, we just want to be bland. And I think it purposely ripped off the first Child's Play. I don't even think it's a question. Like, sometimes I do 24 Reason videos and I'm speculating or I'm kind of making a joke. But with this one, I'm like, no.
Oh yeah, it was scary. Like like how you had the comparisons. Like, it was just like down to every little detail. It was insane.
Pretty sure you guys looked at the Child's Play script, and yeah, I'm pretty sure you guys are considering this a reboot and just not calling it that. So yeah, like, I wasn't a fan of the first one. That's why when you wanted to see this so bad, I'm like, okay, he must have loved the first one. That's why Hulk has bad taste in movies, but you just kind of set me straight. So you saw this film, I didn't. Let's talk about this sequel now, Annabelle Creation. So I guess what works with this film? Like, I still don't know if you like it or not. So is it something that you just tell us what works in the movie?
Like, this movie doesn't hold back. It's like with the first one, if you really look at it, it was like an hour into it and it was just like nothing happened. With this one, it was just like they had they didn't like overdid it with certain scares, or like it wasn't cliche with certain scares, and then even in like their slow moments, you still had enough to chew on. So what I liked about this one is just it felt more into the Conjuring universe as opposed to Annabelle, where it just felt like a Child's Play ripoff. This one felt like, okay, this belongs in that universe, from the setting to the mood to how, even like how, like, you know how like with the Conjuring, like they James Wan uses a great use of sound. He uses great use of just that he's in. That's the same vibe I get with Annabelle Creation. Like, you get, like, you feel like you're in the house when they put you in that scene, when they put you in that bed, they put you in that closet. Like, you get, like, the way they use, like, of editing and specifically sound. Like, you really feel like you're in each setting.
All right, sound like they got you on payroll, but that works. All right, let me ask you this, because this is the one thing that pissed me off. Like, when you talk about Child's Play,
yeah,
I was always scared of that movie because Chucky knew how to. The one thing is, you always, with Nightmare on Elm Street, you always think to yourself, well, I just wouldn't go to sleep. And with the first one, I'm like, all right, I would move far away as I possibly could out of that house or away from Elm Street. It would be no question. But that's really the second one because the house was haunted. But with Child's Play, like, the first thing you want to bring up is just a doll. Just beat up the doll.
Yeah.
Chucky was skilled in hand-to-hand combat, and he was also, like, the fact that he had that demonic undertone. He could cast a spell on you too and take your soul. So it was scary all the way around that a doll that seems so I don't know, like Powerless was so powerful, right? So with this one, Annabelle, the first one, I just felt like the doll wasn't that serious. It was more the other demons that were kind of haunting the child that were scary. And they chose to use the doll as that what do you call it? Mascot? Is the doll is in this one though, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So does the doll come to play? Like, is the doll actually scary?
It has a few scenes, like a few.
So no. Go ahead.
It has a few scenes like where the little kid, like she throws like this. She has like this toy. I don't want to call, I guess a gun, like where it shoots out like this little ball, and then it springs back into the gun. So she points the gun, shoots it. Doll, like the doll just gets hit in the face, but then quickly turns back, which is kind of scary. It's in a closet with like a bunch of scripture around it, and it's just like. When you see it at night, kind of scary.
No,
and you
laying it on thick right now, so that's a no for me. For me, it's like the same problems I had with the first one. So I mean, is this like? I don't know. It seems like from a fan perspective, aren't people more fans of The Conjuring? Because you said it's the same universe.
Yeah.
So people are more fans of the Conjuring side of the universe more so than Annabelle, right?
Yeah.
But they're doing some things where they're trying to expand the universe. Well, so kudos to them. They're trying to make their money. Is this something that's did they set it up to where there's probably going to be a trilogy?
Oh yeah, that's definitely and that's another thing that they worked so well. Like if you look at the ending, it ties in perfectly to the opening sequence of the first one. So they did a great job with that. Also with
So this is a prequel.
Yeah, this is a true prequel, and they did it well. And then another aspect is the characters that they left alive. Like could easily see them in a Conjuring sequel, or I could easily see them in an Annabelle sequel, like Annabelle Creation sequel. Like they have enough where they can use their backstory to further down the line, expand the universe further.
Good for them. Still, so I mean, I'll let people curse you out. So is this something that you'll recommend?
Yes.
Yeah, and you don't got no choice because it's August and there's no good movies coming out. Like I'm telling you, Hope, like I'm sticking next to my New Year's resolution, and you almost got me to watch this, and I was like, nah, I'm kind of straight. You could watch it. August. Well, before we leave, any August movies you looking forward to?
No, I think I'm pretty much.
Are you serious? There should be one in particular that I think you're really looking forward to.
August?
Isn't? Oh, I guess it's not coming out in August.
Which movie?
Nah, you know what? I thought for some. Wow, when does Justice League come out?
November.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Whoops! I cut that part out of the podcast. Did they push it back again or something?
Nope.
Wow! Like, what's the next good movie coming out?
That's the thing. Like, it's slow right now.
Man, I gotta find something. You know, Disney trying to take these movies off of Netflix. I don't know what I'm gonna do. It's you know what? It's a movie that. What's that movie by the guy with the guys from Ocean's 11, the creators of Ocean's
Logan
11.
Lucky.
When does that come out?
Let me look that up.
I think it came out this week, man, and that's how bad the marketing has been.
Yeah, it
comes out August 18th.
Yeah.
You want to watch that?
Like at first, it's like the hype. Like people just like, oh, the trailer's funny, but then I look at the trailer, it's like nothing. But
I like Ocean's 11, man.
Exactly.
I like Ocean's 12. Yeah. I like Ocean's 13.
And then like the reviews have been good so far. Like it's at 100% with 22 votes. So like we'll see.
That's like one of my favorite trilogies.
Yeah, me too. Like it's up there. It might be third for me. Like outside of Godfather and The Dark Knight.
Bro, it might actually. I'm scared to say it might be my number one trilogy.
I love like the first one. Just like that was like one of the best movies I ever seen. And then
best heist movie ever.
Yeah.
And then the second one, even though people hate it, I like it. I love it.
Yeah.
Same thing with the third one. I thought the third one was just that's the second best one in the franchise. But I can't say it's my number. I can't say it's my number one though. It's just a lot of movies cheat and they're not really trilogies. So you can't count Star Wars. You almost can't count Toy Story. Like especially now that's what I'm saying. It won't count anymore. So there's not a lot of movies that stay with 3. But all in all, guys, I want to hear what you guys think about this movie that Hope saw this week. Annabelle Creation. If it's something that you're looking forward to, let us know by hitting us up on our social media. But it's about that time, guys. Thanks for joining us today. Before you leave, if you like what you heard, Share it with a friend on Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, or wherever you go for your podcasts. Don't let this be the last time we hear from you or you hear from us. Support the show by giving us a rating and a review on Apple Podcasts, guys. It would really mean a lot. Also, join us next week. Check out the show notes on where to find us weekly. It's Couch Tomato Films on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, and Couch Tomato Film on Twitter. Other than that, peace.